Welcome. Julie Kay here, helping you find your way through grief and loss. Do you know how to manage your expectations? You may not know what I mean by that at all. So this is what I am teaching you guys over this mini series in our first month of 2023 is about managing our expectations. And the whole point of that is to help you to take off some of the overwhelm. At least where we're at right now and what I'm sharing and what I'm going over is taking away some of the overwhelm off, making your life more manageable. It's really helping to set you free from the expectations you have, which could have led to disappointment, sadness, anger, frustration, depression, all kinds of things that are, expectations when they're not met can lead to. Okay, so last week we discussed about the circle of control. Okay, this right here. And just before I go on, I want to encourage you to do what I said last week, which is to get my free gift on my website, juliekay.org, Julie, JuliekAY.org. It will be in the description of this video as well. And get my PDF, which includes this, as well as an outline that you can follow along and you can journal and kind of write in, and which is really the foundation of what helped me to thrive and how I help my coaching clients. So it's a free gift that I offer on my website. So go get it and download it, and this will help you to walk through what I am discussing here. So last week I talked about outside of the circle, what's out of your control, that's more general, that's more what we all experience. And politics, the government, international affairs, can't control that, can't change it, right? What I really went in on, though, for my example was the weather. So go back and watch it, because it will help you kind of get you used to what we're talking about. Now, this week, we're going to bring it closer to home, make it more personal. Pick something personal in your life that is out of your control, and recognize it. And then accept that it's out of your control is kind of my second. Recognize and then accept it and then release it. Because if you're trying to change or control it or, make something happen that you have no authority, no ability, no rights, what have you, to change, then you might as well let it go. Because then you're going to find freedom, and a lot of other good emotions and experiences can follow that, and clarity. Better thinking, more clear thinking, for sure. Okay, so that's where we're going with this. So I want to give you, I try to always give you an example about me so that you can kind of get where I'm going and hear what I've worked through and what I'm still working through. Some things, we share are done, but this is not done. So my example today is with my grandkids' adoptive mom. Okay, the family that adopted them, the couple that adopted them, and just that relationship and that person in my life, because my daughter died, and then we were supposed to get custody of the kids, and we could not because of an unfounded accusation from the past. Not going into that story. I did everything I could to get them, and everybody was pulling for it, but because of this, we were not able to. So the adoptive family had agreed to taking them and adopting them and keeping them, basically, because they already had them for 9 months. And so you can imagine it's a hard relationship, and it's a difficult walk because they didn't choose to do an open adoption with us. There's no guarantees. Okay. So what I had to realize, and what I was wise to realize, and thankfully I knew enough about the circle of control and the serenity prayer, as I shared, to know that this is going to help me to not be as upset and all the negative stuff. It's going to help me not to add on to my grief, as I said last week. So the quicker I could realize that I couldn't control her thoughts, her decisions about how much we would see the kids, or whether she trusted us or not, or even cared to include us. All of that, I can't control that. I can't change that. I can't and if I do, then I'm coming across in a way, and I'm telling you, that was already a heightened issue. I'm going to come across in a way that sounds controlling or manipulative or whatever, So it just was not a wise place to go. So I accepted most of the time. I don't know, but I also realized something I'm going to go more into next week, what I could do about that relationship in that situation that did influence the situation. So I'm going to hold that for next week. But the quicker I could realize to let go of the realization that I cannot control her. I can't just make it happen. I can't just demand it. All of that, the better off I was. Okay. So here's one example, because most of the times I've kept my expectations low. This is one way to look at it, is don't let your expectations go high. What we're calling this is managing our expectations. Looking at them, recognizing them, and going, are they high? Are they unrealistic? Are they unrealistic? So just to clarify, my daughter's gone. I had some difficulties with my daughter with, you know, the relationship with the grandkids, but not the same as being with an adoptive mom, who doesn't know me that well. So this was, realizing this and accepting this was the best thing I could do. And it is for you too, and your difficult relationships and the things that are frustrating and hard. So I also want to share with you that it's completely normal when you are grieving the loss of a loved one, or a humongous loss in your life, whether it's a move or whatever it is, or a live loss like divorce, or like what happened with me, with the grandkids. It is very, very normal to feel more out of control in your life, more helpless, more hopeless, more, overwhelmed, all of that. Okay, it's completely normal. You're not crazy. It's not fun. It's not a good, not something we enjoy, but you are normal. It is a normal thing to experience. I just want to emphasize that. That's why, trust me, when you learn how to work through some of this and use the circle of control in your life to help your thinking patterns and to process these things, it's going to help you. Trust me, it has with me, and I've helped other people do this as well. So here's just one quick example of when I didn't, my expectations were like, it's going to happen. We're going to get to see them in July of 2022. And it didn't happen. So basically, we were overdue with a vacation. It was hopefully going to be our first time seeing them since they got adopted, testing if she would even let us do that. But there seemed to be an openness. And, I won't go into that, but there seemed to be an openness. So I had said we're going to try to come up in July of 2022. But my husband got Bell's palsy. So that changed everything. He couldn't even be in work, and then they weren't going to let him go for a long time. So that changed everything. But then they were coming down to the beach in Florida, so I thought there was still a good chance to see them, even for just a little bit. That door shut. I was very hurt. I was very upset. I had to work through a lot of emotions with that because I had high expectations. I thought it was going to happen. It was like an assumption. We're going to see them in July, whether we see them there, here, or where. We're going to see them by then. And it didn't happen. So that's just an example of, what we do when we have high expectations that we can't guarantee. So again, I want to encourage you to get this. So I want to know, what is your situation? If you want to share it, you don't have to let me know, but I want you to think about that. And then when you do, again, you download this, put some general things, like we said, weather, but now add on that relationship. Like I would put the adoptive mom, and whether I get to see the kids and when I get to see the kids and if I get to see the grandkids. That would be a real biggie for me. What's your biggie? If you want to share it in the comments, you can, or if you want to reach out to me. Again, I do a complimentary free session. We can go into that and see how I can help you with that. But it's really important for you to identify that. So it's Julie Kay, helping you find your way through grief and loss. I'll see you next week. Write one down, at least one down that's difficult for you, and start working through this, okay?